Each cut removed a small piece, perhaps the size of a coin. In April 1905, a man named Fu Zhuli was executed by Ling Qi in Beijing for murdering a Mongolian prince. French soldiers stationed nearby photographed the execution during an unseasonably cold spring morning. The photographs were smuggled out of China and eventually published in European academic journals in the 1970 seconds. The images show Fu Zhuli tied to the frame, his torso covered with wounds arranged in disturbingly regular patterns. His face appears calm in some photographs, contorted in others. The executioner is visible in several frames, working methodically, his basket of removed flesh beside him in the cold morning air. The photographs show the crowd as well, hundreds of spectators watching with expressions ranging from fascination to apparent boredom. Children are visible in some frames. Food vendors operated at the edge of the crowd, their breath fogging in the April chill. Fu Zhuli's execution lasted approximately 15 minutes, shorter than many Ling Qi executions because of pressure from foreign observers. Contemporary accounts describe executions lasting 3 hours or more when performed at the traditional pace. The standard 3-0-0-0 cut version progressed systematically toward vital areas. The sequence was specified. Start with the breasts, move to the thighs, then the arms, then the shoulders. The face was typically reserved for later stages. The killing blow, usually to the heart or throat, came only after the specified number of cuts. Ling Qi was abolished in April 1905. Fu Zhuli was among the last victims. The photographs of his death remain the only visual documentation of a practice that killed thousands over nearly a millennium. The Chinese made death visible. The Iranians developed a method that leaves no visible mark at all. It's still used today. Survivors describe it as worse than any physical torture. White torture has no single inventor. It emerged in the 20th century as governments sought interrogation methods that produced no evidence, left no scars, and could be denied if exposed. The Iranian government refined it to precise science in the prisons of the Islamic Republic. Survivors who have escaped describe a system designed to destroy the mind while leaving the body intact. The prisoner is placed in a white cell. The walls are white. The floor is white. The ceiling is white. The lights, which remain on 24 hours a day, are white. The prisoner wears white clothing. Food, when provided, is white rice on a white plate. Guards wear padded shoes that make no sound. They don't speak. If the prisoner speaks, they don't respond. There is no dark light cycle. There is no variation in temperature. There is no sound except what the prisoner makes. And the prisoner quickly learns that speaking to no one produces a particular kind of madness. Duration varies. Some prisoners report being held in white conditions for weeks. Others report months. The impossibility of tracking time is part of the torture. A week can feel like a month. A month can feel like a year. The psychological effects begin within days. Hallucinations, both visual and auditory. Profound disorientation. Panic attacks triggered by the unchanging environment. Difficulty distinguishing between sleep and waking. Difficulty remembering who they are. Survivors who've been released and debriefed by human rights organizations describe the experience as annihilation of the self. They describe forgetting their own names, forgetting their families, forgetting what they've been accused of. They describe wanting to die but having no means to accomplish it. The white room leaves no bruises. Medical examinations find nothing wrong. but survivors frequently suffer permanent psychological damage. Many cannot function in normal society after extended white torture. Some report ongoing hallucinations years after release. Some take their own lives. White torture is currently practiced in Iranian prisons. It has been documented by Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, and numerous international bodies. Iranian authorities deny its existence. The denial is part of the design. A torture that leaves no evidence is torture that can continue indefinitely. But white torture is recent. Centuries earlier, an American colony developed a torture so emblematic it entered legend. The victim was 81 years old. He was pressed with stones for 2 days. His last words became a defining moment of resistance. Giles Corey stood accused of witchcraft in Salem, Massachusetts in September 1692. He was 81 years old. His wife Martha had already been condemned. He knew he would be convicted. The court demanded he enter a plea, guilty or not guilty. Corey refused to answer. Under English common law, which governed the colonies, a trial couldn't proceed without a plea. The solution was peine forte et dure, literally strong and harsh punishment. The accused would be pressed with heavy weights until they entered a plea or died. Corey knew this when he refused to speak. He also knew that under law of the time, a person who died without conviction couldn't have their property confiscated. By refusing to plead, he ensured his estate would pass to his children rather than the government trying to kill him. The pressing occurred on September 19th, 1692. Corey was stripped and placed on the ground in a field. A wooden board was placed on his chest. Stones were added one at a time. Sheriff George Corwin asked for his plea. Corey said nothing. More stones. His ribs began to crack. The sheriff asked again. Corey's response was recorded by multiple witnesses. More weight. The pressing continued through the day. By evening, approximately 400 pounds of stone sat on the board. Corey's chest had collapsed. He could barely breathe. He had spoken only twice since the pressing began, both times to say the same thing. More weight. He died on the second day. Still refusing to plead, his tongue, forced out by the pressure, was reportedly pushed back into his mouth by the sheriff using his cane. Corey achieved his objective. Because he was never convicted, his property passed to his sons-in-law rather than the government. His widow, Martha, was hanged 3 days later. These 7 methods span 400 years, from Persian scaphism to Iranian white torture, from methods taking 17 days to methods that destroy minds in weeks without leaving marks. Every method was documented. Every victim I mentioned was real. The lesson isn't that humans are uniquely cruel. Other animals kill. The lesson is that humans are uniquely creative in causing pain. We invent methods. We refine them. We document them. We build boats designed to keep victims alive for 17 days. We photograph 1,000-cut executions. We are the only species that writes procedural manuals for torture. Most of these methods are no longer used, but some continue. White torture is practiced today. The creativity that produced scaphism hasn't disappeared. It has merely adapted. If you want more historical reality that destroys comfortable myths, subscribe to Flow of History. We're revealing what actually happened behind the legends.